SharePoint is perfect to build your next QMS. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 core features of a SharePoint QMS document control and how they actually individually support the ISO 9001 clause. Everything from version control on individual documents that also contain a full audit history of exactly what has happened to each document and when. As well as that, a approval workflow, review reminders to specific content owners, tagging documents so it makes it really easy to filter and find things at the click of a button, and tracking who has acknowledged each of the documents and following up where there's overdue acknowledgements. My name's Dougie Wood and I'm a Microsoft MVP. We work with companies all over the world to replace their QMS software using SharePoint. Often people come to us because they're in one of 2 different situations. The first one is they're trying to achieve, say, ISO 9001 or one of the other certifications that a document control can benefit. Or maybe they've previously achieved it, but they have a very manual process, messy spreadsheets, duplicates of information, and it takes a long time when they need to do audits. The second situation I commonly see is that people come to us because they've already got a QMS system, but it's costing them an arm and a leg. It's very expensive. In fact, I only spoke to someone last week who was paying over $100,000 a year for a QMS system. The ironic thing about that is quite often these people that I speak to, they're only using about 33% of the QMS system that they're actually paying for. So this is where we look to replace those modules using SharePoint. The document control that I'm showing you in today's video is actually one of the modules of our QMS that we sell at a fixed price. So if you want to get a quote, then there's a link in the description below to contact me. So the first feature of this document control, and arguably one of the most important, is version control. Now, version control is applied with both major and minor versions. So say, for example, a major version is the whole number we see here, whereas a minor version is a draft version, something that's being edited or it's still being waiting to be approved, and that's where we've got this 5.5. Users will only ever see one document. They're not going to see all the different versions of the document, and this helps with that kind of single source of truth approach where they know they can just go there and get the latest version. In fact, with a version control enabled, it means that end users will only see the major last published version of the document and not all the minor versions. There are 2 different types of users of this system. One is an editor, so those are people responsible for reviewing documents, editing them and maintaining them, maybe even approving them. And the second type of user is just a consumer. It's someone who's an end user just there to get information, and those people would only see the last published version, whereas the editors would see the minor versions as well. Now, the version history actually can be seen in full simply by going to the version history, and this is a full audit trail of everything that's happened to this document from the very point of when it was first uploaded. So every time the reviewer changed or the approver changed, or every time the document has been approved, all of this is stamped inside of the document. In fact, you can actually go back to a previous point in time and view or even restore the document back to that previous point in time as well. There is also a native feature of SharePoint which will allow you to basically bring in what they call metadata, which is just that information we see in the document library, directly into the document. So say, for example, if you still need to print off documents, you can also embed things like the version number directly into the document using that native SharePoint feature. And the way this document control feature relates back to ISO 9001 is actually in clause 7.5. Specifically in 7.5.3, the control of documented information, a central controlled location, is the foundation of the documented information requirement. This is your single source of truth. This is where all of the information is going to be, and you know that everything is in that one place, and all of your employees know all the information is in that one place. The second feature of our document control for a QMS is the approval workflow. Now, this is something, again, which is really important from an ISO perspective, that we actually can evidence where documents have not only been reviewed, but also approved as well. Now, the good thing about this system is that the approval status actually directly corresponds to the version number. Now, that isn't by chance, that is actually linked together, meaning you'll notice that you'll only ever have a whole major version like 9.0 or 6.0 when you have an approved document. Whenever it's actually in edit, so it's draft or pending, it's not yet been approved, that's where we've got these minor versions. So what happens is it's really easy to select a document, and click on the Submit for Approval button. And what this will do is allow you to put in any sort of comments, and then we click on Publish. And what this will do is it'll set the approval status to pending, and it'll send an email to whoever is in that approver box. And that person will receive an email. And within that email, there'll be an approve button, there'll be a reject button, and some comments. If they reject it, it goes back to the reviewer of the document, say, hey, this is my comments. We also advocate that you use things like track changes if you're using Word documents or inserting comments, so you can see exactly where that feedback applies inside of the document and not just some generic feedback. Of course, once the reviewer has then updated and made those changes based on that feedback, they would submit it for approval again. And this time, what would happen is the approver would click on approve, and it would then automatically set certain fields in SharePoint. The first thing it would do is increment the next major version. So in this case, it would be version 8. It would set the approval status to be approved. And then what it would do is it would calculate the next review date, which is something I'm going to come on to talking about in the next feature. However, how does this approval workflow help us achieve that ISO 9001? Well, actually, it relates to clause 7.5.2, which is all around documented information must be reviewed and approved for suitability and adequacy before it is issued out to employees. Which brings me on to the third feature of this document control system using SharePoint, which is the review reminder system. Now, where we left off with the approval feature was that it automatically will set the next review date. But how does it do that? Now, the way that it will do that is actually it will calculate based on the approval date. It will add on top of it the review period. Now, this can be anything you like, but typically, as long as it's in months, it can be 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, whatever you like. Typically, it is 12 months. And what it will do is it will automatically add the review period on top of the approval date to give us our next review date. What will then happen is the system will sit dormant until that review date. Then what will happen is when it's getting close to that review date, it will then start issuing reminders to whoever is tagged as the reviewer of the document in SharePoint. Now, this can be configured however you like, but typically people like to have maybe a 3-month reminder, a 1-month reminder, and then say a 2-week reminder, and then maybe something which is once it actually hits that date, and you definitely need to be making sure that the document's up to date. But if you've got early enough reminders, it means you can plan it into your calendar. You can think ahead, okay, this is coming up. I need to actually factor in some time to review and update this specific document. And as I say, from an ISO perspective, that's what is basically ticking that box for that clause 7.5.2 as well as that approval process. Just as a quick reminder, this document control is available to be purchased at a fixed price. There's a link in the description below to get your free quote. Use the Contact Us link, and I'm happy to book a call and answer any questions you might have about the system. So the fourth core feature is about tagging our documents. Now, this makes it way easier to find documents rather than having a really kind of linear folder structure where you have to know exactly where everything lives. You can have one document, tag it in multiple ways, and then you could find it based on different types of filters. So you can see here with our documents, we have a few different types of tags. We have our document type, whether it's a manual, policies, a SOP, no matter what it is, we can add multiple different types of document types within this. We can then see I'm currently grouping documents by this, so I can see all my policies in one place, all my SOPs in one place, or I can expand them all out to see them all like this. And this is one of those configurations that we can work with you to understand exactly why or what you want to tag your documents with to make it easier for your users to find them. We can also filter. Now you can see here I've also tagged the certification. Now this is because sometimes there's a single document which actually can be relevant to multiple certifications. So say for example, if I want to see all my documents based on certification, I can use this filter option to actually select which of the certifications that I want to see. Say for example, I'm interested in ISO 9001, I can filter that and then I can find all of my documents that have been tagged with ISO 9001. Now within reason, you can tag a document with as many labels as you like, but I would suggest probably no more than 3. You tend to find at that point, it gets a bit too admin heavy to manage the amount of tags, plus people aren't necessarily going to use them all that well. But typically, as I say, things like department, certifications, Those types of things are really useful to tag against your documents because it makes it much easier to find them. So how does document tagging actually support ISO 9001? Well, it's actually in clause 7.5.3.2 where we have identification and description plus distribution, access, retrieval, and use. So the metadata like document type, ISO accreditation, and department directly enables identification and retrieval very quickly, which is something that the ISO auditors love. At number 5, the feature that I actually really love the most is the document acknowledgement. Now, what this will do is it'll track who has read or basically confirmed that they've read a specific document and then log it in a list so you have a full audit trail of who has acknowledged and who hasn't. So if you remember back on the approval steps, one of the other things that it will do once it's finished updating all of this metadata is it will look at this group column. Now what it's doing is that group actually corresponds to a specific security group. So what it will do is it'll get everybody that's tagged in that security group and it will send out an individual email to each of those people to say, hey, there's a new version of this document that we need you to confirm and acknowledge that you've basically read and understood this document. Inside the email itself will be a button that says, I acknowledge this. But also on the home page of our document control, you will see that as I scroll down, we have this Your Acknowledgements list. So we can see all the acknowledgement items that have been previously sent to that particular user. And actually this is a view for the individual user that's viewing the page. So everyone will see slightly different because you're only going to see your own acknowledgement items on the home page of the document control. And then it's just as simple as clicking this I acknowledge this document button, or by clicking the button in the email, and you'll see it will then automatically update the status to be acknowledged, and it'll put the date and timestamp of when it was acknowledged. We can also, as a admin, go into the acknowledgement tracker and see all of the items. So we can see everywhere where maybe something is overdue. So again, I could filter this down and say, show me all of the overdue acknowledgement tracker items, and I can see these people here. The system will chase people. Now we can put that onto any type of frequency you like. Some people like to send an email maybe once every week, every 2 weeks, something like that. Whereas people who want to get this done quickly know that they get the best results by actually sending daily emails to people until they have acknowledged that document. But the other thing is, once you have that acknowledgement, it means that you can use this if there was ever potentially an issue. Say, for example, there was ever a health and safety issue, which George had been involved in. We could pull him into a meeting and say, hey, George, well, you should know better because you confirmed that you read our health and safety policy on this date and this time. So how is this benefiting our ISO 9001 certification? Well, actually, it comes under clause 7.3, which is all about awareness, and 7.4, which is all about communication, and being able to evidence that staff have received and read relevant documentation and information that demonstrates awareness of the QMS and relevant policies. I should also mention that the document control actually comes with 2 separate home pages. We have a home page for our end users, who are the consumers of the document. So they're there to find information quickly. And we also have a second home page, which is for the administrators, the quality managers, the people who are essentially either involved with reviewing or approving documents. So let's have a quick look at those and compare the 2 different home pages. So this is the default home page of our document control, and we can change this. It's not set in stone, it's just a sample to show you what can be achieved. Maybe we can see most viewed documents. So this is a good way of people quickly accessing documents that they know that other employees have been opening a lot as well. We've got quick access to things like filtering to show only SOPs or policies or manuals, or maybe even a bit of information about what is the document control and the types of information you can find here. You can see all of your acknowledgements here, so all the previous acknowledgements, as well as any which are outstanding. And then there's some areas of things like FAQs. So what does acknowledging mean? Why do I need to acknowledge again? We've also got things like department filters, so we can see documents based on department or even based on role. So it might be operative related information, supervisor, inspectors, or whatever it may be. The second page, which we've also created, is the admin page. So as I say, the admin page is more for people who are there to either review or approve documents. So we can see in the hero area at the top, we can quickly jump into documents where I am the reviewer. So it will show me every single document where I am tagged as the reviewer of that document. Or I am the approver, which again will show me every document where I have been tagged as the approver. For all of our customers, we always record training as well. And we have some pre-made training videos that we can supply and upload into your SharePoint document control site. So we can basically have a button which will then launch and open that page of those videos. And that's what we're seeing here. So watch this training videos to basically get up to speed with how the system works, which is really useful for, say, new starters. Again, we've got more tiles here, and these can be completely customized to use your own images, colors, or even link to different types of information on the document control. So as an admin, I'm interested to know of any overdue acknowledgements. As I say, the system will chase people automatically for you, but sometimes it's good as a quick glance to see, right, who are the common kind of offenders here that we need to chase up to make sure that we're getting our acknowledgements done. We can also see things like most viewed documents, so again, popular documents. We can see any documents which are close to review, which means that the review date is within 60 days. We can also see the document as well as the version and who the reviewer is. So who is the person who's going to be getting notified that this document is coming up for a review. Scrolling down, we have my modified documents. So this is specific to the user that's currently viewing this. So they will see a list of all of their recent documents that they have personally been modifying. To the right hand side of that, we have got under review, which basically is any document which is currently in draft mode. So we can see a quick snapshot of any documents which are currently being worked on, which again gives us a nice bird's eye view of what's actually happening in this document control system so that we can follow up. If there's, say, been a document that's been in draft for a very long time, we might want to give them a nudge so we can see who is the reviewer of this document that's under review. So if this had been in review for a long time, I can chase up, for example, George, say, hey, what's going on here? But I've also included here the modified date. So this is the last time that it was modified. So I can see these documents actually being updated quite frequently. Whereas if that modified date was, say, a month ago, then I know they've not touched it for a while. So it might be worth me giving them a little follow-up. Further down, we've then got things like new documents. So we can see any brand new documents which are coming into the system. Again, just be aware of what's going on. And anything which is awaiting approval. Again, we can see anything which has got the approval status of pending, and we can see who the approver is. So say, for example, if we know that that document has been sat on that list and I've come back week on week and seen there's still a document waiting for approval, again, I could potentially go and give them a little nudge. Again, we can automate that type of thing, but it's sometimes good to keep that human personal touch involved with the management of this document control. Scrolling further down, again, we've got things like FAQs. So we can see things like, can I change a version number? How to submit for approval, what if approval is rejected, all these common types of questions, which again, we can load in either pre-recorded videos or pages of information so people know exactly how this system works. Maybe we could filter by department or even by status, so documents that have been approved, rejected, ones which are pending approval or close to review or in draft mode, so we can get to access to all of these documents just at a click of a button. Then further down the bottom, we might have an auditor's view, which is basically jumping into some of the key areas, documents that are going to be relevant for an auditor to speed up that process, because ultimately time is money and we want to speed up that audit process. If you're curious about building out a QMS in SharePoint, please do use the contact link below, and we're happy to book in a free demo and answer any of the questions that you might have and see if this is the right fit for you. If you enjoyed this video, also check out the video that's on screen now, because I think you will find that useful. And of course, give us a like and make sure you subscribe to our channel for more SharePoint QMS content.